Catch Predator. Where are they now? That's what we're going to try to figure out today watching this video. This one comes from The Curious Clam.
Steve Buchanan had gone rogue. While it was shocking to see someone like him show up at the Sting house...
Steve Buchanan. I'm pretty sure this is the dude that had like a whole everything in his truck or something.
The murder kit guy?
Yeah, pretty sure this is the murder kit dude.
He went on to give us his best performance ever.
I'm listening.
Those are horrible maps and judgment.
Gotta say, that was pretty convincing.
His horrible lapse in judgment. So convincing. I was like, yes, I believe him.
I remember this guy. Creep.
Yeah, there was like a, whichever version of the show this was, they had like a lot of juicy dudes come through, you know,
Yeah.
like some crazy stories.
He casually mentioned having a firearm in his car. Not shocking for a soldier, but
Yeah, so he
still
showed up with this
scary.
whole,
But when the-
everything he'd ever need to do, whatever he needed to do,
Yeah.
kit.
God. Torture, murder, whatever.
I mean, that roll of duct tape's pretty small, so it's who knows how many times he's already used it.
oh, dude, no. I hope not.
And then that camera, the camera is for surveillance, you know, just to keep an eye on the area. You know, the duct tape is to tape it to a tree. It's by somebody's window, so I can
Yeah.
take pictures of him. I don't know. Yeah, that guy he was one of the, so far that we've watched the show, one of two dudes that had just like a bunch of stuff in his car. One guy had like a ton of guns. Not like, oh, he had guns. He definitely had bad ideas. No, he had like a lot of stuff and guns, just like
Yeah.
a weird amount of guns, just a ton of them.
And he also had like a stock of like condoms, didn't he?
Yeah, it was. He
think.
had just tons of guns and condoms and
Yeah.
stuff, and just like. But there was something about it. I can't remember. Maybe you guys can remind me. I don't remember.
Oh, why it was so weird?
Yeah, there was something extra about that was so weird. Like packed him up for his trip or something like that. There was something a little funky about it, but I can't remember. Anyway, let's get back and see where this guy is now.
Just a random roll of duct tape and knife, I bet.
I never thought about, the consequences. Before I went to the military, I was a normal person.
It's kind of thing though. It's like with this one, you can go and look at it and be like, oh my gosh, he had duct tape and some string and some other things, and you go, oh, he had really bad intentions. But like in the courtroom, they can't really like
Tie it to
Yeah, they
anything
can't,
that
like,
hasn't
say-
happened.
you definitely intended to use this in
Right.
commission of a crime.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not how it works. It's just for a viewer standpoint, we go, oh, the potential was there for him to do something with that, but having the potential to do something with something isn't actually a crime. So it's
Right.
kind of like just more of those like TV shock factors. But still, shocking.
I can't believe that a dick like Steve got support from the likes of Bill O'Brien. Yeah, the Bill O'Brien, the coach.
Oh,
Why
how?
would he help him?
Maybe he's a fan. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe he's got season tickets or something. He's like, ah, man, that's a...
Maybe he was a towel boy back in the day. Yeah.
oh, God.
Steve was released from prison in January 2019 and is on probation till 2029. So this is what the dude looked like before his release in 2019.
That's 2019 Stephen Philip Buchanan.
Okay.
So he served his 8 years, on probation for 10.
Looks exactly the same. Except older, I guess.
Chris contacted Steve Buchanan for his podcast, and the dude's father picked up the call and told Chris to never call them again. Oh, he was sure as hell pissed, but not like it matters.
Yeah, it's just like, don't ever call him again.
Okay. Yeah. Wasn't planning on it. This is a one of.
Yeah, so where is he? You know?
Right, what happened?
What got going on?
Though he mentioned that Steve had moved on with his life and had let bygones be bygones.
Bygones. They act like Chris Hansen did him wrong or
I
something.
know. We'll let this slide this time, Chris.
You know what, Chris? He forgives you. He forgives you for what you did. Now, if you're watching this video and some of the guys are going to pop up during this, I believe we've had updates on them before, but this is a different video and it's got different details, and so we're going to watch through it again anyway.
Turns out, Steve never saw combat on his tour. Can't say I'm surprised, but he ended up having to fight, just not in the way that you'd hope.
Of course. He never saw combat. He like telling the judge, oh, I've seen some things. I messed up from it. Turns out you're a mechanic. You never left the base.
Right.
Who drove for 50 miles, braving some crazy-ass heavy downpour along the way.
Sorry, is there a light switch in here? Oh, it's behind here, is that it?
Come on out, Joshua.
Yep, that's Joshua Colin for you.
Joshua Colin, the guy who just needed to use the bathroom, and I don't think ever really got the chance to. Need to pee so bad. He got called out, summoned from the bathroom.
It's crazy how this loser thought it was okay to pack a bag and stay over at the house. During the course of his interrogation, a whole lot of disgusting things were revealed.
I don't know if we ever see anything about his interrogation or not.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I remember like him like, going to the bathroom and Chris talked to him, and like the conversation wasn't anything like mind blowing. It was just a creep there. He had his overnight bag. He planned to stay the night.
Yeah. They didn't want him walking to the bathroom because he had the bag and it might have a weapon in it.
Right.
Yeah, so
Like,
like, whoa.
He's like, I gotta pee, guys. Please.
Come on out of there. Have a seat.
Pled guilty.
Yeah, so I like during like this sting operation, like whatever judge they had was throwing the whole book, all the books at him. Like, yes, well you pled guilty. All right, well you're not getting out. You're not bonding your way out of this.
Yeah. I wonder what the final charges were, if they were as harsh.
Well, the other dude that was on the same sting served like 8 years. I can't remember what this guy got.
He ended up spending 7 years in jail,
7.
which was suspended after 3 years. Joshua apparently violated his probation and was back in jail for another 6 months.
Wow. Going to be put away for 7, served 3, got out, violated probation, went right back in for like 6 months. I wonder if he just didn't report in or what. You never know, right? It's like that could be like
he might not have just paid his fee.
Yeah, he might just not paid his fee. People see it and be like, "Oh my God, he was out there creeping on kids again," which hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was just something as simple as like he didn't show up for his date or didn't pay his fee or left the state and didn't tell him or something. I don't know, whatever. All the list of things you can't do.
Chris made an attempt to contact him. Someone did receive the call, and the guy on the other end of the line sounded very much like Joshua himself. But whoever it was clearly wasn't interested in talking to Chris.
Someone picked up the phone and Chris called and was like, "Oh, no, that's definitely not me. I mean, I don't know who that is."
Don't know him. Please don't call back.
Yeah, I just got this number, Ooh, imagine, God. Like, if it was, like, legitimately somebody else, you get a call from Chris Hansen, you're like, "Hello? Hold up. I gotta go and change my number immediately."
I showed the number with who?
Yeah.
Yes, everyone deserves a chance to move on with their life, so Chris dropped the idea of making contact with him ever again. Now, we've seen several guys on the show who...
That little spot right there is like everyone deserves a chance to move on with their life, which is true, but you also have to live with the consequences of your decisions in life as well.
Facts.
Well, I don't know. I bring that up because I see there's not very many of them because it's almost universal that everyone hates predators and pedophiles.
Yeah.
But every now and then there's someone with like a bleeding heart that's like, they learned their lesson. They did their time. We should leave them alone. When you leave them alone, was that like also idle hands and the devil's plaything kind of issue? It's like, no, don't leave them alone. You gotta like, they need to be looking over their shoulder, especially if there's a chance they'll be like a repeat offender, which surprisingly a lot of these guys are. Even when we first started watching the show, like they'd be telling their story, it'd be like, "Oh, I just am inclined to kind of believe that maybe this is his first time, or kind of feel bad for him." But after you're like, 50 in, you're like, "Oh, they literally all say the same thing."
They all do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the Steve Buchanan guy, the murder kit guy.
Yeah.
Watching his interview, I was just like, man, I don't know if the guy needs help or what, right?
Yeah.
And then when you find out what all he had, you're just like, no, bury this man.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's the same thing. Even the episodes that we watch, like the older episodes of TCAP, we go and like look at the Wikipedia and like you can read the chat logs, you can like see more information, and then by the time you get done with the Wikipedia, you're like, this isn't even the same dude. It can't be.
Yeah.
Throw him away. So yeah, it's but there's also different levels of it too. Like Reddit and other websites take it upon themselves to go to like harassment levels,
right?
To where like some of these dudes have moved on with their lives and they are on the straight and narrow, and there hasn't been any repeats or anything, but they're like hunting them down and like
stalking them,
stuff like that. Which that goes too far, but there's a balance, right?
For sure.
One extreme to the other.
I think we just need I just think we need a better start. Like, you know, the sentencing just needs to be a little harsher.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
And potentially, you know, I mean, not that I'm an advocate for it or not, but, you know, the other people in prison, they usually take it pretty hard on these guys. To the point to where they don't want to come back if they make it through it.
Yeah. Facts.
So everybody's got their own they're dealing their own justice, their own cowboy justice out there in their own way.
You can try one of my cookies. They're so good.
Did you make them?
Yeah, I made them myself.
All right, I eat one.
This weirdo you're looking at is David Schumacher.
David Schumacher. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it was like one of those. He's the victim in his situation.
We were in a role-playing chat room, dude. If people play roles, man. Anytime, never ask role-playing. People just talk.
The role play. It's just talk. It's just talk. Like in this same house, in this same sting, they had the dude that word. I think I titled the video like Predator's mama takes his computer away or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just talk. We just own chat rooms, just talking. We ain't doing nothing. It's just talk. It's a charge, especially when because they do it and all of them is like, I'm only 13 years old, and the conversation continues. It's like, yep, charged.
Yep, got him.
That's illegal, sir.
That doesn't stop detectives from catching him and placing him under arrest.
Gotcha!
Ooh.
Judy chop him.
Man, tase him.
Is this the guy that got dropped off at the house too? Oh, I feel like this is the guy that got maybe it wasn't him. There was one dude that had there was a 16-year-old that dropped him off at the house.
Oh, yeah.
Or was a sister or something like that. I don't know. There was somebody that brought him here. I feel like it was this dude, but I can't remember.
Sometime in 2017, he collaborated with another YouTube channel and released this particular video with a very strong message. He called out TCAP for ruining his life.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
He collabed with a YouTube channel to do this.
Yeah, well, I think I haven't double checked, but I'm pretty sure off the top of my head that even the collaboration was one of the YouTube channels that calls out these dudes.
Oh, okay.
too.
Gotcha.
But I may be wrong on that one, but still.
For all them fucking haters out there, bro.
It was one that they find him and interview him kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is for all the haters out there, man.
He decided to play the blame game.
Why she do that, bro? She wiped the computer clean.
Can you believe this guy? He literally tried to accuse the setup of deleting things off of her computer.
There was more evidence that proved I was innocent. It's just conveniently lost.
Oh, okay. They wiped that out.
Yeah, they also wiped out the part to where they lured me into the house with cookies. You know, I was just walking down the street. You know, I was just walking minding my own business. They're like, "Hey man, you want some cookies? Come over." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Next thing I knew, I was arrested. Crazy. I didn't have a total sexually charged conversation with someone that claimed that they were underage, and then show up at the house with intention to act upon those things. Of course not. They deleted all the proof that proved that.
Show that.
Yeah.
I know where the guy is now, though.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he changed his name to Fred Durst, and then he started singing for Limp Bizkit.
Don't you put that on Fred Durst.
He just dresses like him, all right?
David was once again arrested the same year for possession of a pretty fun plant. And it doesn't stop there, because he was arrested again just 3 years later in 2020. This time, he stole a car.
Drugs, stealing cars, meeting underage girls online. Role playing,
Role playing. That's what was happening with the car, too, okay? Just role playing a car thief.
Imagine if that was a real defense. I was just pretending to rob this bank.
I was going to give the money back.
Wow, crazy.
Did try to get his life together with his girlfriend somewhere in the UK, and it looked like he had finally given up his notorious life for good. But just then, this next video surfaced. The dude was being dragged around by law enforcement for robbing a place. The guy...
Where's that? I need to find that body cam footage so we can watch the whole thing.
I know, right?
Something about moving to UK with his girlfriend, and all of a sudden they catch him robbing a store.
Now, who remembers the math teacher?
All right, that's him. Now we go back to the old math teacher. The math teacher that had his his soulmate conversation. But then I think he told Chris he was there to, was it counsel? Was he like there to save her or tutor her? I can't remember, something like that.
Mike Monzi. He didn't react well when Chris decided to crash his little private tutoring session.
I'm Chris Hansen.
No, you're not.
Is I?
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, this is the guy that's like, no, I know who Chris Hansen is. No, no way.
Now, this one comment from a viewer caught my eye, and I couldn't agree more. Monzi decided
He was checking around the room to make sure he's alone. This was said that God knows how wrong it could get. I mean, that's always like, that's one of like Chris Hansen's like actual questions too. Like if he wasn't here, what would have happened?
Right, exactly.
Monzi got away with just 3 years of probation. No prison time at all.
Yes, the old teacher. The old teacher got 3 years probation.
Wow.
Well, at least it wasn't weekend jail, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
His life spiraled out of control after the episode was aired on TV. Now, recognize this dude here?
Please let me go home, guys. I'm gonna get arrested going that way. Please. No, I can't.
So, there's this whole buzz about how this dude was somehow related to Mike. And yep, he's one of the core crew members of the Sting operation.
That guy was related to one of the members of the crew. Oh, no. He's like, please let me go. And he's like, no, sir, young man. Absolutely not. You were, I'm telling your mom. Wow. Before the show airs. And after the show airs, you're going to get fired from your job and everything else is going to happen. But still.
Yeah.
No, you can't just leave. No, thank you.
And well, I did stumble upon this picture of Monzi, who's now working at a store, trying to get his life back together. A few reports also suggest that Monzi has been off the internet in an attempt to keep himself from getting into trouble.
Working at the Petco, staying off the internet to keep himself from getting out of trouble, probably just to avoid everybody. Probably to avoid the people that are looking for him.
Yeah.
You know, like the Reddit groups and everything. Like, he's got a Facebook page. Yeah, you know. Let's contact everyone that he's friends with and tell him what happened.
Remember John Kennelly? You might remember him as the guy who got caught twice.
So John Kennelly, yeah, the dude that like literally, I think it was the next day.
Yep.
Like the very next day, he showed up to like another sting. Because what was it? He didn't get I don't think he got arrested.
No, they let him. They had to let him go or something.
This is like right at the start of the Catch a Predator. This is before they're like really working with police, with law enforcement. And so he showed up and they did the interview and they let him go. And then the next day, he shows up again. I think this is the dude that also got naked in the house too.
Right,
There's only been like 2 or 3 dudes that have gotten naked, but he's one of them.
Talking about this loser right here. Damn. Dude really thought it was okay to just show up like that. And
Chris just shows up to like, yes.
So, sir.
Oh yeah, he shows up at the McDonald's, that's right.
I just came to get something to eat.
And I have very seldom been at a loss for words.
that was his second time dropping into the Sting house. Even after being put on blast twice, this loser pled not guilty.
Yeah, I'm not guilty, I was just naked. It's fine.
Wow.
Anyway, I couldn't find much about what happened to him after this particular appearance. But in 2022, look who popped up again.
He was out and about. Someone snapped a picture of him.
Feel like a bank?
I don't know. Somebody's sitting down. I'm not too sure.
News is that John never got lucky with landing a job thanks to his very vibrant history. But who's ready to meet the loser who loved cats more than...
So they just found that guy, and they move on to the cat man.
Was he the other naked guy?
Yeah, he's the other naked guy. He shows up and he's like looking for the cat, and they had some talk in the chat about some, I think like whipped cream and a cat, or it was weird.
Oh.
Like an actual cat, not like an innuendo.
Yeah.
people.
Wait, just take a seat. Have a cookie. I made that.
Yeah, she's like, take a seat, and he's like, here I come.
This dude's chats were a different kind of disgusting. They were repulsive.
Yeah, this dude didn't hold back at all. He had awful chats, showed up, got naked immediately, beelined it for where he thought the decoy was.
Yeah, where she was like, I'm gonna be back here.
Yeah. Every intention of the world, despite what he says.
After he got arrested, Marvin was charged, but in 2008, he was eligible for something called Florida's Youthful Offenders Act, which basically meant that he didn't have criminal history, so he could have it easy.
What?
Wow.
It's got a thing in Florida where you can just like
You should get wiped
Did
clean.
you just get wiped clean after this?
I mean, he got ghillie suited by the ghillie suit guy.
What was that dude in the yard laying out the ghillie suit? It jumped
Thought
him.
he was the sidewalk.
Eventually, Marvin was deported back to Trinidad. Dude was pretty much MIA until in 2020 when a picture of him surfaced on the net. I really hope this pretty young woman was aware of his cat, thing. Cause
All right, so he got deported and then went on to get married and probably have a life, I guess. You know, I was gonna say like a normal life, but I don't know. Either way, he got married, moved on, even though, god dang.
After getting deported.
Yeah. What a lucky dude. He dodged having to spend the full time in jail.
Florida wipes your slate clean for
Yeah.
you.
Then he got like a free ticket back home, got married.
Yeah.
Wild. Oh, this man.
That's right. The next guy on our list is John DePee.
Oh,
And
John DePee, the creepiest looking dude that
Yeah.
ever got caught. I mean, like I remember watching the video of him at the Sting, and he was just like super awkward and creepy, and I'm pretty sure he had to spend some time, but I don't remember seeing anything that happened to him afterwards.
I've never done this. Have you?
No.
So what do you want to do?
A hug?
he's well known for being the guy who went straight for the hug with no warning at all.
Yeah.
It's all like me.
Gonna pop around the corner. Hey, boo.
Whoa, don't hug me, sir. Have a seat.
Eventually, the judge handed him down a 4-year sentence.
Oh, it's only 4 years. I thought he got more than that. He was in there like fake crying in his interview.
Judge had a change of heart. Yeah, no, he made it 8 years.
Okay.
Nice,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I was surprised, actually. I was like, what? No way. 8 years. Yeah, boy. Get him.
While DePee was grinding his teeth in prison, he lost both his siblings, Lindsay and Brandon DePee, in a tragic accident.
Oh, dang. His family died in a car wreck? That sucks.
He wasn't even allowed to attend the funeral. And before you start feeling bad for him, don't forget what this guy got caught for. So,
Well, I'm not going to forget what he got caught for, but still, I'm not going to, like, celebrate, like, yeah, he didn't get to go to his family's funeral.
Right, that's just cruel.
It's awful.
DePee was finally released in 2018, only to wander the streets, homeless and unemployed. As of 2021, he had moved from the Columbus House homeless shelter to a group in New Haven. As of 2023, apparently, he's now got his own apartment and isn't in touch with his only son anymore. Well,
Okay, so he was homeless for a while, and then he's on the up and up, I guess. Doesn't have contact with his kid, so I guess everything is right in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know how like cruel I could be like, yeah, he's homeless. Yeah, woo! It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're guilty of a child crime like this, and you're guilty, you know what I mean? Like, you should probably have limited rights to kids.
I don't know. I jump back and forth because it's pretty easy to land to like whatever camp you want to when it comes to this stuff. Like you can be as harsh as you want to, and there's people that watch these that are like, heck yeah, kill them all, you know?
Yeah.
But I try to just mediate myself a bit, be like, I'll just. They're not doing anything wrong now, and they have a decent
Hopefully.
life. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. But if they ever start sneaking around and doing everything, then we can eat them. Oh wait, that's the rich. Sorry, if we eat the rich, what do we do with the? I'm not going.
I don't know.
I'm not going down that line of thought. Never mind.
at least he didn't bring his son with him, like this.
So this guy, the guy that showed up at the Sting House with his kid. When I made a thumbnail for this, and YouTube took the thumbnail down.
Really?
Yeah, it was like, oh, that's too far. That thumbnail is, nope. And I was like, it's kind of a weird stance to take there, YouTube, that like I can't show that this horrible human being brought a child with him whose identity is protected.
Right.
I think even the video got like age restricted too, because like the fact that he brought a kid with him, even though he was coming to prey on a kid, was like the line. I just remember
Really?
like the YouTube stance on this video. It was, I mean, it's. I'm not mad at them for being aggressive with it,
Right.
but it was like the context of why they were more aggressive was weird to me. It's like it involves kids. And I was like, yeah, the whole show
Whole thing.
is about. That's literally what the concept of the show is. It's like, yeah, but like a real one. And I was like, okay. So it's a slippery slope there. You know, watch out,
That
because
is a very...
there's some defenses that these guys bring up for themselves about how there's not a real, you know, child there. It's a decoy. But all right, whatever. Anyway, it was an odd one, and I had some back and forth, and ended up I just let it go because it was just kind of wasn't a good look for YouTube on their stance on that one. But ultimately, I do also kind of agree with, like, you know, like he's brought a kid with him, and that's just like a whole nother level of weird and horrible. I think the man had multiple children, I believe, but only one of them was with him.
He brought his son with him. He's got his child with him.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that Clifford Wallach actually did that.
Yeah, the whole time, like the guy running the whole sting is just like, God, no. Oh, please, no. Not like, no.
Taking the turn. Coming in the back door.
And so then, like, I don't know, like, the dad gets arrested and everything, and like the little boy's just like,
yeah,
what is going on?
But the cops were gonna do this.
You come here. Let go.
The kid was immediately taken away from him.
You come here. We're not going to tase you and tackle you out here in front of everybody with you. While you got your, because they got the child safety to consider too. But get him away.
Clifford was then sentenced to 5 years' time in prison. In the meantime, his child was handed over to relatives, since the wife decided to stick with her monstrous husband.
That's right. Yes, I knew there was something else. It's like the wife like took his side, and like then they had to. Yeah. Maybe it was only one child. Either way, the child had to go live with relatives instead of like his parents because they were just idiots.
Okay with doing this.
Yeah. It was To Catch a Predator's fault. Definitely. How dare Chris Hansen do this to them?
Lured you in.
From losing his job to his family to even his belongings, Clifford blamed the show for the downward spiral his life took.
How dare they make him show up to the Sting house?
Right, with his kid.
How dare they offer him cookies? He couldn't resist.
He went on to claim that the treatment he received was way worse than the torture he had to face from his fellow inmates. Okay, so why not head right back to your cell, Clifford?
So like everything that happened in his normal life was worse than what happened to him in prison, even though like there are probably people in there wanting to shank him in prison.
Right. Come here, chummo.
Yeah.
Anyway, the couple who ditched one kid eventually had another, as if traumatizing one wasn't already enough.
They went on to have another child. While one of like your first kid, I thought there was multiple children involved. But the first one, you go live with your aunt, and we're going to continue with our lives and have another kid replace you.
Oh, gosh.
What a healthy family.
Wow.
Which I guess, I don't know, is somehow better than him being with them to begin with. If he's going to like bring him to the Sting house. Because who knows what horrible, like, you know, the intrusive thoughts start kicking in and you're like, oh my God, this could have went super wild.
Finally, a wave of wisdom spread over his wife, who finally made a sane decision to leave him and move to New York with the kids.
She got both kids and moved to New York and left them behind after years of not doing that for some reason.
Yeah.
Here comes the most popular weirdo of them all, who we fondly call the pizza guy.
Good old Jeff. Like, he shows up, offers everybody pizza, you know, but I'm probably it's going to be the same thing. I mean, I'm just going to skip ahead because apparently nobody knows who this dude is now. Yeah, so it's like the last thing they got is like a picture from 2021 of him. He tried to change his name. He tried to like, you know, get out of it. I think I saw a report of him like dating somebody or something, but it's all like years old. Anything like up to date, as far as I'm aware of, there is nothing. He's pretty much off the radar. And yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday. So here's my friends. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.